Hello, dear one. Thank you for connecting with us today. We are grateful to be here with you. And what I'm looking at today and what's coming forward is I've been really feeling into all the reorganizing that is happening, the reorienting that is happening. And you may be feeling that for you. But we're talking and speaking to energetic behind the scenes, lots of reorganization. And we just had a big influx of light, and that's being layered in to the reorganizing. And it's like a sorting process that's going on. And you can think of it as this idea of what am I going to take with me into the new cycle, and what am I ready to retire, evolve, return? That sorting process and a reorganization as you resort. And it's an energetic process. But ultimately, when I look at what are we after in that, and it's all about this year, meaning the new year, new lunar year that's beginning February 17th, Fire Horse year, is a year of acceleration. And it's all about authenticity and aligning with what is meant for you as unique divine essence song. It's like aligning to and beginning to garner momentum in what you are here to be, do, and have in the new terrain, which is very, very different than what has been. And so when we start to feel into that idea of, wow, what if I'm in the process right now, preparation mode, to welcome and begin to move forward on a path of creating the not yet remembered, a life and a journey and an experience of myself that is unprecedented. So I can't use the past, I can't use my history to dictate it. If I try to use my history, if I try to use what's worked for me in the past, if I try to use an old identity of myself or old ways of evolving that I've outgrown, ways of supporting myself, keeping myself safe that I've actually outgrown, that only function in the separation, that only function in the survival consciousness. And that's what I'm moving out of. That's what we're all moving out of. And we will gain traction in that more promptly if we're consciously choosing in favor of it and not just willy-nilly waiting to see what happens, rolling around in a false identification or old story of ourselves, or trying to fix or change a version or a way of being that is actually coming up to transform. It doesn't need fixed or changed. It needs to be embraced, seen, heard, felt, experienced one last time. And that's really the energetic that I see. Now, it can be an energetic that only happens for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month for some of you, but it may be a bit longer. And so we encourage you not to get attached to how much time you spend in that particular phase of the journey. I'm going to call it, they're saying reorganization. It's a reorientation of self, getting current with what you've evolved into, and so that you're able to launch from that you into even greater authenticity of your essence. And so one way that you can do this, one way that works, there's more than one way to do it, but this is the way that the guides have shown me, Council of Light has shown me throughout my journey. And it's to step into the willingness to release who you think you are and what you think you know. so that you can release your attachment to the past version of you and be in a type of, it's like a space. You create the space, you're in the void of what else is possible. And when you're in the void of what else is possible without resisting it, judging it, trying to make it different, trying to fix it, trying to cling to a version of you in the past, the way you used to think or be, or what your preferences were, even yesterday, or even 10 minutes ago. It's the guides are saying it kind of as an umbrella, how you create a life for yourself. How you've created a life for yourself in the past may be very, very different in the new terrain because you are different, and every single day you're becoming more of next level you. And we're going to bring that in energetically. It's not meant to be scary. It's just what is. You are in an evolutionary leap in a good way. You are ascending. You are becoming. You are blooming. You are accessing more of your true essence every single day, and more quickly to the degree that you're choosing it consciously. And then allowing the old to fall away. And I'm being shown the idea of the snake shedding its skin, the molting, the shedding of what you've outgrown, who you think you are, what you think is possible for you. All of that ties together with what you've experienced yourself as in the past. And that version of you is being gone beyond. You're going beyond that particular developmental stage, that particular stage of growth and expression. And as the frequencies continue to increase, move into the more harmonic, you move into more harmonic dimensional layers, and aspects of you begin to activate as a result of that. You bloom. And so we're going to bring in a process to support you in anchoring into the absolute truth of you, and then letting go of everything else, being willing to let go of everything else, so that you can be in a more streamlined, flowing, fluid birthing of you that doesn't have any resistance or clinging or fear. Doesn't have to be a fear experience. One of the reasons that it can bring up fear is that we think we're losing something. And if those emotions come up, allow yourself to process through it, feel it, breathe, be willing to let go of the meaning you've given it, and recognize that whatever leaves at this time, whatever sheds, dissipates, dissolves, is like an old pair of shoes you've outgrown, and there's an upgrade for you blooming. So the more you can not be attached or clinging to anything, any specific ideas, concepts, perceptions, beliefs, ways of perceiving self, and especially things physical realm, external, like a job or a specific idea of what your life is supposed to be for you to have fulfillment and joy and happiness. What if at some point in your evolution that was true, but it's like the whole game board is resetting itself? What if that's evolving into a higher expression for you. And what you used to want for yourself is being upgraded. In other words, the idea of this or something better. So let's say you've spent the last 20 years really, really desiring a divine mate, a beloved partner, and it hasn't shown up yet. And what if your idea or what you were using to attempt to manifest or connect to a beloved partner in that, we're going to say that phase, that first phase of the journey, it wasn't the right timing, the guides are saying. And what if the timing is coming into being where it will be the right timing? And this can be for anything. We're using beloved partner as an example. And you've been in the process of preparing for that. But now that you've grown and shifted and evolved so much, it's time to allow yourself to reset around all the criteria that you placed on what that's even supposed to be or look like or feel like or be like or what they need to bring to the table. What if you've shifted so much that you've aligned to something very, very different? In other words, the main underlying thread here I'm seeing is not codependent. And maybe when you first attempted to conjure a beloved partner, you were really coming from a codependent place of wanting them to be the source of something for you or wanting the relationship to be the source of something for you. And you've been working diligently to let go of anywhere you're making anything outside of you the source for you. And because you've done that work, now it's about, okay, let me just reset, get current with who I've become. And this is in relationship to all my desires so that I can very organically reorient to who I really am now, like what I've evolved into, and launch from there. So the desires begin to flow very differently than they used to. So we're going to bring in that process now. And we invite you to take a deep breath in, orienting to your line of light. You have a divine spark in the heart of source, and your ray of light emanates from that divine spark the way a ray of light emanates from the sun. You are light. Inviting you to bring all your reference points for what you are off of everything external, including the personality, the behaviors, the beliefs, the thoughts, the feelings, the perceptions, the beliefs, back to your light. Light comes first. The light of you is it. And the words even limit that, but they help point to where we're actually being invited back. It's like we're always being called back. You're always being called back to the light that you are. So just imagine bringing all your energy, your awareness, your focus, your reference points for your identity back to your light, the light that is you. You can invite your higher self to help you do that. We're going to invite the body deva to do it. Teams do it for themselves. And then, as we mentioned, one aspect of this year, big aspect, tuning fork for 2026, align with your own authentic resonance. Come from that. Let that pulse you. Let that inform you. So we're going to invite you at spark level, higher self, bodies, higher self, and teams to activate and amplify your unique resonance, song, rhythm, expression, vibration. Far beyond concepts, no concepts, just vibration. Letting go of needing to categorize it, define it, explain it, understand it, especially because anytime you try to understand it, you limit it. Inviting you at the level of your higher self, body's higher self, to activate and amplify your unique vibration more. You for you, body for itself, teams for themselves. And like a tuning fork to you, to your own unique authenticity of your expression. Allow that vibration to reverberate and ripple to you from your spark through your ray of light that is you into all dimensions where you express yourself and onto all your grids, all ways of perceiving self. Let it inform your desires. Let it inform your perceptions. We're going to invite you to calibrate your energetic ears and eyes for your own unique divine essence resonance song so that you're listening to it. And we're going to invite you to make that the priority of what you listen to. And for some of you, you may reference this in the heart. Imagine that the heart has energetic receptors for listening, and it can listen to your essence. It can bring in energetic information through a knowing that is basically receiving a pulse from your unique essence. And what if this could be your go-to navigation system? It's meant to be in the new terrain. It's part of the evolutionary process where we allow the intellect and what I'm going to call the mind of the gut. So there's like the gut feeling, the gut reaction, and then there's the intellect in the brain and the mind. We allow them to collaborate with the heart. We're going to bring in what we mean by that. We're going to plant the seeds for that new energetic configuration that's being invited to birth at this time. Where the heart takes the lead, but it receives energetic information from these other energetic centers. They collaborate from a place of unity and connection, not fear, not survival. Very different. Very different than what we're used to. And we're actually going to be bringing in an Empowered Evolution Masterclass to help reconfigure exactly that collaboration, where the mind and the gut are collaborating with the heart from a place of unity and connection fully. Requires a bit of back-end work and reweaving of grids. And so we're just going to invite some part of you to begin to connect to that now and what that even means. Start to get familiar with the concept. And when we live from the heart, taking the lead, we are able then to connect to the infinite possibilities and highest potentials that are available. So as you orient to that, begin that process, we're going to invite your higher self, body's higher self, and teams to scan for anywhere you've placed attachment or desire externally based on past ways of being and creating as a past version of you, and to clear any past wants or desires that are no longer relevant for you based on who you've become. Are you willing? Are you willing to allow that? Are you willing to allow for a reset? Bring all your creative energy back to you in a whole and healed state that you were using to try to create something that's actually no longer relevant for you and maybe never was. It could have been someone else's desire for you or expectation for you that wasn't uniquely you and yours. So we're just going to invite that to complete, reset to the degree that you're choosing it, And are you willing to let go of all the meaning you had given it? And some part of you may still be giving it, where you decided that was the source of your fulfillment or happiness or joy or something. And can we show you how to reference what you were making that the source of? Reference that inside you at source level. So if it's joy, if you thought, okay, the beloved partner is going to bring me joy, and you made that the source of your joy, and then you placed it in the future and you gave responsibility for the joy external to that relationship or that person, retrieve all responsibility for that joy or that freedom or that fulfillment or that connection, whatever it was, that love, get all responsibility back for that divine nectar source quality and reference it within your beautiful depth of your divine nectar. Source level. Get it at source level. Reference it there, receive it there, amplify it there, and retrieve all responsibility for it and hold that responsibility at the level of your higher self. Body, team, same. Then we're not afraid of losing the joy or the fulfillment or the connection or the support or the peace because we have it. And maybe the reason that that thing you were attempting to create for yourself never showed up, never came to fruition, was because you would not allow yourself to have something that you were making the source external. Because that would just keep you in the cycle, the hamster wheel of sourcing externally. And in this incarnation, number one on your bucket list was to get back to unity consciousness, oneness ways of being, where you're sourcing within your own light and nothing outside of you is source. You're not attempting to make it work. No workarounds, no codependence. I'm going to get my needs met within my own divine nectar column of light and retrieve all my power back, all responsibility for meeting those needs. And for many of us, especially if you're listening to this transmission, that was number one on our bucket list for this incarnation because of the divine timing of this culmination of moving out of the separation consciousness into the unity consciousness. So number one of that process is, oh, I got to get all my attachment back on me. I've got to get in my own lane, in my own sovereignty, holding all personal responsibility and power and creative current on me. So just take a moment, retrieve all that back to you, cleaning it, recalibrating it, re-embedding it on you, for you, all your desire, all your creative current. And activating all vibrations of the spiritual lessons in the dance of the codependence. Been there, done that. You've done it for many, many, many lifetimes. Allow that to move to a greater place of completion to the degree that you choose. And then allow yourself to be in a bit of a limbo for a time where you allow for a reset of what you even desire. So that can begin to pulse very organically from who you really are in truth. And you start to remember in a greater way what you really want for you. And maybe for a time, when a desire comes forward, you can ask yourself, is that something I really want for me? Or is that something I think I should want for me? Or I was taught to want? Or maybe my mother wanted for me? And that will help you begin to hone even deeper into who you are in truth. And they're just showing me, inviting you to lean into the heart. You can even say, higher self, will you remind me what I really desire for me? And maybe you've been attempting to create freedom your whole life. And that isn't actually what you really wanted for you. It's what you thought you did, or maybe what some previous version of you wanted. So allow for the reset. Let yourself be in the becoming. Are you willing to release all your attachment off of needing to understand, needing to know ahead of time, needing to intellectualize or explain? And can we show you what it feels like, how to, and that it's safe to just be? And to allow for your very natural, innate, divine expression to begin to pulse you. Gently, softly, quietly. Not from a have to or a should, but from a place of love. And this might feel very foreign, especially if you've had the critic running. But what if it's an act of self-love to simply allow yourself to be? To not try to push yourself ahead of where you are. And this is a bit of a precursor for the 4-week series that we're starting in about a week on February 1st. Living and being within infinite and empowered possibility. Living and being within empowered possibility. And it's all about alignment with your essence, allowing for the highest good to unfold in every moment without needing to know what that is. And there's a lot of reweaving of grids on the back end to function from the unity, consciousness, connected, empowered, knowing you are safe and supported in every moment. It's almost like I know who I am in truth. I know I am connected to an infinite source. Now what? So there's going to be a lot shared within that series, helping you to rewire and align and remember who you are as that, who you are as the one that is connected to infinite potential in every moment. And so there's no need to push. There's no need to force. There's no need to criticize or go into a fixing or a resistance to something. It's just choice. And there isn't control or manipulation involved trying to make something in the outer world look or be a certain way in order for me to have. That's what's being retired. And that won't work in the new terrain. The old ways of being and creating, manifesting will not work in the new terrain. They function in separation consciousness, which is what we're moving out of. So it's about bringing in the ways of being, the ways of creating, the ways of perceiving, connecting, responding, that cultivate and reinforce the knowing of connection, the knowing of oneness, the knowing of infinite supply, the knowing of infinite freedom, the knowing of your own divine expression as a unique snowflake blueprint that supports you in every moment if we let it, if we don't get in the way, if we don't step in with the intellect and try to figure it out from a place of limitation, and then therefore identify as the one who is limited, who must seek externally something we don't have. You are not that. You never were. And as we speak in this energetic conversation, there are energetic downloads for you to pick up. And this is the threshold of a glorious new dawn. We are grateful to be traversing it with you. And we look forward to dancing and creating with you moving forward in whatever way honors you. May you stay anchored in your light. And if you wish to journey with us in any of our upcoming offerings, including the 6-month vibrational reinvention that starts in March, we're going to add those links below this video in the description. And feel free to reach out to us with any feedback or questions that you may have. And practice your self-care, staying present, anchored in your light. Release all attachment off the outer. Bring it back to you. Get your needs met deep in your core as you traverse this birth canal and this sacred passage of becoming. Thank you for showing up. Much love.